Hello, I'm Bernard Cuffling. I've been involved with the Arts Club for, I think, 38 years. Some of the performances that I remember, and there have been so many, I think I hold the record at the moment of being in more productions than anyone. I think it's not starting with My Fat Friend, that was way back in 75. But some of the memorable ones, some of the real favourites, apart from Fat Friend, were Anne Mortifi's Reflections on Crooked Walking. I have to say Doolittle in My Fair Lady, being in Beauty and the Beast, being in History Boys, beautifully directed by Dean Paul Gibson, The Philandra, etc., etc. There's so many plays in 38 years that I've done. And I think it's impossible to say memorable moments, there's been so many, but I think one that will always be with me and with the Arts Club was when we walked from Seymour Street, when it had closed down, we walked from Seymour Street across the Granville Bridge to the new Granville Island Theatre. We marched, and there was a band or something in front, a couple of people from the company were playing instruments. And that was very memorable because that was the end of a great era at the Arts Club Seymour Street and the start of a new era. And then, of course, here at the Stanley is the third era. So that was one of the most memorable things. It sounds corny, but I owe it all to Bill Millard, because I have had such an amazing opportunity of being in so many tremendous productions. And he has created me, if you like, as he has created a lot of people in Canadian theatre. And if it weren't for him, I came out here to Vancouver, actually, for a 2-week holiday to stay with an actress friend of mine. And I went to Edmonton and I did a show at Citadel, and then I came back here. And I only met Bill once. But when I went back to London, thinking that was the end of the sort of little honeymoon, as it were, in Canada, the marvellous, late, brilliant Susan Wright, with this play, My Fat Friend, she said they needed a replacement for Owen Foran, and she said, well, you've got to get Bernard. So Bill came to London with Bruce Kellett, and I met him in the pub at the Salisbury in St Martin's Lane, and we went to see a play, Entertaining Mr. Sloane. You see, I remember it all. And that was 1974. And Bill said, well, can you go back and take over in My Fat Friend? I said, oh, I'd love to. And I had about 5 days. But it was a great success, and it was such a fabulous experience. And that was Bill flying to London to bring me out here, and the rest is history. And I don't regret it one bit, and I owe everything to him. The thing that is remarkable about the Arts Club is you can use that word camaraderie, but it's more than that. When you work at the Arts Club, you become part of an amazing family. I mean, it speaks for itself. It's 50 years, and how many theatres survive? How many theatres survive 50 years? 3 theatres survive 50 years. Well, we know the Arts Club. We know the other theatres are new, but it's the family. It's when you work here, regardless of the problems, or sometimes it doesn't always work, and sometimes you think, why am I doing this, and I don't have enough time, and I wish I had more money. But when you walk into the first thing, you go to the office at Granville Island, you feel home. And I think that's the success. Well, Bill has many successes in his belt, and many reasons why this is an amazing company. But it is the spirit. And I know I've worked all over the place, but I do love coming back to the Arts Club. I'm not a technocrat. I do have a fax. No, I don't have. I did have a fax, but I have a computer, and it's wonderful. And people say, "Oh, you can watch so and so," oh, you can watch so, and I do, and yes, interesting. But when I'm in the theatre, there is absolutely nothing like it. It's, again, to use that phrase, it's live theatre. It's there, it's happening at the moment, and there is usually a rapport between the audience and what's happening on stage, and that's inimitable. You cannot get that through technology, and the more brilliant the world gets in technology and the more advanced they get, the more we want to identify personalities, and the only place you can do that is to go to the theatre. I mean, you know, if you phone, I phoned a company the other day to get some information, and I spoke to about 5 electronic voices. I didn't speak to a human voice. Now, if you multiply that 100 times, you say, I want to speak to somebody human. So where do you go to find the human voice? You come to the theatre, and you're entertained in the theatre. And things go wrong in the theatre, and you enjoy that even more. When things go right, you enjoy it even more. But there is absolutely nothing, and I've been asked this question many times, will theatre survive? Of course it will. When we said videos came in, DVDs came in, now cell phones, you can see a movie or you can see a play on your cell phone. Nothing, there is absolutely nothing that comes anywhere near a live performance. Real people on that stage and real people in this theatre. It's a great experience. And I'm glad that it will never ever change. And the more technology comes along, yes, it's great. We can do amazing lighting effects. We can do amazing sound effects. We can do all that technologically. But you need real actors to create it on that stage. And the audience need to see real people. I think, as we know, movies are taking a big nosedive. Not just because you can stay at home and watch it on your iPhone or whatever you've got, but because it's fictitious, and what you see on stage, you see a real person, all right, playing phony. You know, it's not real what we're doing, it's scripted, but it's real people doing it. So the audience identify with that. And there are so many people that, like me, I don't want to sit at home for the rest of my life watching television or looking at my computer and never going out and never communicating with somebody in theatre. And I'm lucky, I've seen some great stuff. And I've seen some great stuff here at the Arts Club. You know, I said Reflections and Mortifi, that was an amazing show that we created. Dean Paul Gibson doing History Boys for me. An amazing company. Night after night, it was the same, yet it was different. And we had tremendous response from the audience. And the talkbacks, people just, there wasn't enough time to answer questions because it was live, because it was real. And that's what I love about theatre. And I don't care. You can come on with everything. Put a wristwatch where you can just switch it on and you can see a movie and you can hear the news and you can, fine, great. But put me in a theatre seat and I'm very happy, and put me on that stage and I'm even happier.